Hey, church family, it is day 112 of going through the Psalms. Let's look at Psalm 112 together. 112. Praise the Lord. Blessed is the man who fears the Lord, who greatly delights in his commandments. His offspring will be mighty in the land, the generation of the upright will be blessed. Wealth and riches are in his house, and his righteousness endures forever. Light dawns in the darkness for the upright. He is gracious, merciful, and righteous. It is well with the man who deals generously and lends, who conducts his affairs with justice. For the righteous will never be moved, he will be remembered forever. He is not afraid of bad news. His heart is firm, trusting in the Lord. His heart is steady, he will not be afraid, until he looks in triumph on his adversaries. He has distributed freely, he has given to the poor. His righteousness endures forever. His horn is exalted in honor. The wicked man sees it and is angry. He gnashes his teeth and melts away. The desire of the wicked will perish. So, Psalm 111 and 112 are often considered twin psalms. And really, Psalm 112, this psalm builds upon 111. So if you have not yet watched yesterday's psalm video, stop right here, go and listen, and then come back. All right, you're still here. I'm assuming you are familiar with Psalm 111. So these are twin psalms, and this is for a few reasons. First, both psalms here start with the refrain, "Praise the Lord." More than this, both psalms are acrostics. Each line begins with the same letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The lines mirror each other. They reflect each other. Even more importantly than this, though, Psalm 111 and 112 are thematically linked. Remember, Psalm 111 ended with, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." And Psalm 112 picks up immediately with this. So if Psalm 111 provided the pattern of the fear of the Lord, Psalm 112 expounds the effect that the fear of the Lord has in a believer's life. Look at verse 1. Blessed is the man who fears the Lord. Remember, the fear of the Lord is relating rightly to God, relating to him as our creator, our king, and our redeemer. Interestingly, see how the one in Psalm 112 who fears the Lord, how this person actually images God more fully. So just as in Psalm 111, God was gracious and merciful, in verse 4 here in 112, the man who fears the Lord is gracious, merciful, and righteous. And here, those who are righteous will never be moved, just as God himself is never moved. But now let's look at kind of the verses that are most interesting to me here. What do we do with verses 7 and 8? He is not afraid of bad news. His heart is firm. His heart is steady. He will not be afraid. Friends, these verses don't fully describe me. Maybe they describe you. Maybe you are never afraid. But this certainly is not yet true of me. So what do? Well, we look to Jesus, the only man who has ever fully related to God rightly. See, Adam and Eve fell out of the right relationship with God when they ate of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. They feared God, but no longer because they related to him rightly, but because they were terrified of his wrath. They had failed to recognize God as their creator, their king, and their redeemer. And we fall into this just as much. When we are worshiping the created rather than the creator, we become fearful that the things that we love will not last forever. When we seek to establish ourselves as king, our heart is anything but firm as we seek to rule over events that are outside of our control. And when we refuse to see God as our Redeemer, we are afraid because there is no longer a way to escape God's wrath. So then how do verses 7 and 8 become true for us? Friends, we have to look to Jesus, the man who related to God rightly and secured a right relationship for all who trust in him. Jesus' righteousness does indeed endure forever, and through Jesus, we will too.